afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this meeting of the Glenorchy City Council on Monday, the 27th of October 2025. I'm Sue Hickey, the Mayor of Glenorchy City and Chairperson of this afternoon's meeting. Glenorchy City Council acknowledges the Muanina people as the traditional owners of this land. We recognise the Tasmanian Aboriginal people as the original owners and continuing custodians of the land, sky and country and waters of this island of Taurita. We pay our respect to Aboriginal elders past and present. We commit to working in a way that welcomes and respects all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people. Joining me here in Chambers today is Alderman Peter Riddler, Alderman Justin Stringer, Councillor Molly Kendall, Alderman Tim Marks, our Deputy Russell Yaxley, Emilio Reali, our CEO, Alderman Stephen King, Alderman Stuart Slade, Alderman Josh Cockshut, and Alderman Shane Alderton. So as you can see, we have a full house. Before we open our agenda, I take this opportunity to make a statement about workplace health and safety. Glenorchy City Council takes work health and safety seriously, and this includes physical and psychological safety. We have a duty to ensure that a safe workplace is provided for our employees, elected members and contractors, volunteers and members of the public who may be present at Council's workplaces. Council meetings form part of our Council's workplace, and it is expected that everyone who attends Council meetings will behave in a polite and respectful manner. Thank you. Council has endorsed a statement of intent setting out how we as elected members have agreed to conduct ourselves in representing the people of Glenorchy. In accordance with this, any disagreement should be expressed respectfully, remembering both during debate and in decision making that we are elected to represent and serve the people of Glenorchy and to make our city the best place it can be. Finally, I note that the open section of this meeting is being live streamed and an audio-visual recording of the meeting will occur in accordance with the Council's recording of Council minutes policy. Members of the public are not permitted to make audio or visual recordings of Council meetings. We have 12 items on our agenda this afternoon, and agenda item number 1 is apologies, of which I believe we have none. We don't have any apologies. Thank you. I do have some announcements from the Chair, if you'll just indulge me for today. The Aero Ranger Enforcement Technology Solution.
Didn't we do confirmation of minutes? It's number 2.
It is, but I usually do announcements from the Chair first. Not it? Oh, well, I can do them in either order. I'm the Chair.
Mayor's probably the new agenda that swapped them around accidentally. So,
yes.
That next time.
Council is extending its use of the Aero Ranger Enforcement Technology Solution for another 12 months, following a successful 6-month trial that has already been delivering real benefits for the community. So there's the vehicle up there with that very fancy name. This innovative program is transforming how parking compliance and vehicle monitoring are managed across the municipality. The system uses vehicle-mounted cameras and smart software to monitor parking compliance more efficiently and safely. As the vehicle patrols local streets and car parks, it automatically logs number plates, locations and times, if you like, digitally chalking vehicles. This technology has significantly improved coverage across the municipality, helping ensure fairer access to high-demand parking areas and enhancing overall community safety. It also supports Tasmanian Police with vehicle searches when needed. The next item is rabbit baiting at the KG5 Oval. I would like to advise the Council will be conducting a rabbit control program at KG5 following a continuing severe damage to the playing surface. This damage poses a risk to public safety, forcing us to take this action. Council has sought advice from the Department of Natural Resources and Environment and has been granted a permit to conduct a baiting program. The program is scheduled to commence in the first week of November and will involve pre-feeding of carrots, followed by the laying of carrots containing pindone poison, an anticoagulant which is the same compound used in some common rat poisons. Warning signs will be placed at the entrance to the ground to warn people about the program. The baited carrots, which will be dyed green, will pose no risk to people provided they are not interfered with. Dogs should not be taken to KG5 at any time, but dog owners should take extra precautions and ensure their dog is on the lead if they're being walked near the oval. Council will also be letterboxing nearby residents to advise them of the program. The baited carrots pose no harm unless ingested, in which case medical assistance should be sought immediately. Council understands many people in the Glenorchy area are experiencing problems with rabbits and rabbit numbers. Council is not authorised to conduct control programs on private property and has only been granted a permit to conduct a program on KG5 Oval. However, we will keep the department informed and would urge people to contact the Department of Natural Resources and Environment should they have any questions relating to their own property. More information about the program will be available on the Council's website. Now, Glenorchy Community Views update. The Community Views survey asks our community what they believe makes somewhere a good place to live, how they experience their local area, and what needs to happen to improve the quality of life. And this is something we're all particularly interested in. We have already received 840 responses so far, but we'd also like to hear from as many more people as possible. The survey is open until the 9th of November, so please take the opportunity to have your say on the future of our city. Hard copies are available at the Council's customer service areas and at various locations throughout Glenorchy, or you can log on to Let's Talk Glenorchy at www.letstalkglenorchy.gcc.tas.gov.au. And moving on to the Glenorchy War Memorial Pool. Work is powering ahead at the Glenorchy War Memorial Pool with significant progress being made despite recent wild weather. Recent works include electrical installations in the change rooms, removal of a tree behind the grandstand, demolition of the old bike shed near the kids' pool, installation of skylights in the main pool building roof, and a comprehensive clean-up of the pump room ahead of further upgrades. The next major step will see shell works begin on the pool itself, a highly anticipated milestone marking the transformation of the much-loved community facility. And now the Newtown Rivulet. The transformation of the Newtown Rivulet estuary will be celebrated with a special community event on Saturday the 8th of November 2025 from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. Just 9 months ago, the mouth of the rivulet was lined with crumbling concrete rocks and walls, broken stormwater pipes, and littered with abandoned trolleys and debris. It was very unpleasant. Today it has been completely revitalised thanks to a joint project between the City of Hobart and Glenorchy City Council. Extensive restoration has seen the removal of old concrete infrastructure and planting of more than 30,000 native trees, shrubs, grasses and water plants. The project will benefit local bird life, improve estuarine health in the Derwent River, as well as provide a beautiful recreational area for people to enjoy. Please come along to the celebration day on the 8th of November where you can see the work that's been done, enjoy free face painting and ice cream, and take home a native plant for your own garden. For those who are interested, there is also a volunteer community planting day this Saturday. That's November the 1st on both sides of the rivulet, with tools and gloves provided from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. And I think the quarterly report. At this afternoon's council meeting, we'll be reviewing the quarterly report covering July to September. Once endorsed, the full report will be published on the council's website. I encourage everyone to take a moment to explore it. It's a great way to stay informed about the exciting projects underway in our community, which includes upgrades to the Glenorchy War Memorial Pool, new safety initiatives, the Humphreys Rivulet Rehabilitation Program, and the creation of a dedicated Glenorchy Youth Hub. And this brings me to a close. Waste trucks. Earlier this year, have a look at this. Council approved $600,000 to improve cleaning services and to keep our city looking its best. We invested in a footpath sweeper to clean streets and paths better. which you may have seen out and about already across the city. A new truck with pressure washers to clean seating areas, rubbish bins and graffiti more effectively in Glenorchy's 3 main CBD areas, and a rapid response ute to handle smaller jobs quickly in the more traffic-prone areas. Our hard-working cleaning team managed litter collection, graffiti removal, garden upkeep and much more. We are also pleased that our bin truck, street sweeper and cleaning truck have been wrapped with some vibrant designs to create awareness and spread the message that everyone has a role to play in keeping our city looking at its best. And keep an eye out for the new designs of our local wildlife with the positive messaging of keeping Glenorchy clean, one street at a time, one footpath at a time and one bin at a time. So I think that looks rather fantastic. Now, with your indulgence, we will move on to confirmation of the minutes of the open meeting.
So moved.
Thank you very much, Alderman Slade. Do I have a seconder? Sorry, I think Peter Midler just beat me. Alderman Slade, would you like to talk?
I'm happy, Mayor, that they are reflective of a true and accurate record of the meeting of the 29th September 2025.
Any discussion? No, in that case, I'll put that motion. All those in favour, raise your hand. It's carried unanimously. Pecuniary interest notification. Do we have any pecuniary interest in the agenda? No. Response to previous public questions taken on notice. They are listed in our agenda. Let me just grab that. And no, sorry, there's no response to those. But in public question time, item 6, we have 2 questions, both from Janice Bryant of Montrose, and both have extensive, I think it's 3 questions, no, 2 questions, and they both have extensive answers. And then we have item 7, petitions addressing council meetings. Public question time, who likes that? Goodness, sorry about that, Eddie. Public question time. So we have 15 minutes available for public question time. Is there anyone who would like to come to the front and ask a question? And before you do, I have just a couple of rules to read out. Questions must relate to the activities of the council. Members of the public are to announce their name and residential address before asking a question, which will be recorded in the minutes. Questions are to be put succinctly and in the form of a question, not a comment. Questions must not be inflammatory, abusive, defamatory, contain a personal attack or otherwise breach any rules of the meeting which may have been explained by the chairperson. The chairperson may limit the number of questions asked by each member of the public in order to ensure that other members have a chance. The chairperson may decide the order of the questions. The chairperson may, in their absolute discretion, refuse to answer a question if the chairperson deems that it is inappropriate or does not comply with these rules or the rules of council meeting. The chairperson may take a question on notice, in which case the answer will be provided in writing prior to the next council meeting and included on the agenda at the next council meeting. If the question is taken on notice, the chairperson may request that the member of the public submit their question in writing and may refuse to provide a response if the question is not provided as requested. The 15 minutes allocated for question time may be extended if necessary, which I don't think we've had to worry about for some time. So do we have anyone who would like to ask a question? Okay. Yes, thank you.
Hi, Eddie Steenbergen and I live in Rosetta.
Thank you.
I just have 2 quick questions. The first one is about the graffiti policy that's coming up later on. A key word in the policy seems to be the word offensive. If something is offensive, then it is of concern. And I'm curious to know how council decides whether something is in fact offensive and who has the final say.
I think if it's racist or vulgar, there's 2 classifications of offensive, but I don't know whether our CEO has more.
Mayor, we take it on what an ordinary person would take as offensive, like a swear word, a racist slur. We've had occasion where there has been a swastika drawn on things, so we class that as offensive. And we also would take advice from the community. If the community reported something that they found offensive, then we'd respond to that as well. So generally it's swearing, racial slurs or symbols or things that might offend a particular group or
Person.
person. So
Does that include things political?
I could.
And the second part of the question is, where does the final decision come from?
Mayor, it would be our graffiti officer, his manager, or come to me and I would make a call. So we would err on the side of caution to make sure that we're dealing with graffiti and to try and take out any offensive material for the community. You know, to have to look at all graffiti is offensive to the community because it takes away from the amenity of the area, but some we would respond to much quicker than others.
Okay. Now, related to that, in the cycleway is this sort of very large thing within our city, which is of great temptation to graffiti writers. But council, it's owned by Tasrail. So is there some arrangement there? Does some council have some sort of arrangement with Tasrail to deal with graffiti there?
Yeah.
Mayor, we remove graffiti off council-owned assets as just a matter of course. Any other assets owned by other utilities, we would notify, give them the opportunity to remove it if it was offensive. If they don't respond quickly, we would take it upon ourselves to do it. We have done in the past. Obviously, we have some procedural or processes that we have to tick off though, like the rail corridor, even though there's no trains on it, is a live corridor and we have to have a permit to be able to work there. So we would have to seek permission. Failing that, we have an environmental amenity bylaw which we can write to the owner of the utility, Tasrail, and use that bylaw to try and apply pressure for them to remove the graffiti.
Okay. Are there in fact any bylaws that relate to graffiti?
We have
Directly.
it's not on its own, but the environmental amenity bylaw has a section in it relating to graffiti, and we can use that to apply pressure to property owners to remove graffiti. And if, like, the idea is to give them the opportunity to remove it first, and if there's no action, we can actually use some powers to infringe the person for not taking that action, or we can move in, take the action ourselves and then recover the cost as a last result.
Thank you. I'm done with graffiti. The second question is about the experiment the council appears to be running at the moment to put all the papers relating to a council meeting into one god almighty PDF file. I'm sorry, I hope I haven't offended anyone there. But you get what I mean. The papers for this meeting are almost 400 pages, and the actual agenda items are submerged between all manner of policy documents and full colour plans, etc., etc., etc. So anybody who wishes to sort of skim through, it is almost an impossible task. So my question is, will council reconsider? Well, firstly, why did council start it? And having started it, will it be accepted as a failure?
So, did you prefer the way it was done before,
Yes.
which is attachments as a separate document?
Very briefly, if you're simply interested in the matter, the bare bones of what's coming up, then the old agenda was all you needed, and you would go to the attachments if you really wanted to get into the guts, into detail, the fine detail. So I did prefer, I suspect anybody who is interested in skimming council materials would have preferred the old way of doing things.
Which wouldn't be elected officials, of course. But I'll let the CEO answer that because we've got a new system, haven't we?
Thank you, Mayor. We have got a whole new software package that helps us now. So the old system we were running was, let's say, pretty much past its use by date and took a lot of manual labour and it was very clunky. So we did upgrade to this new system, hence we're still sort of ironing out the bugs. But this system does bring the council report and then its attachment straight after, then the next report and its attachment straight after. We'd probably like to trial it a little bit longer and then maybe we'll do a review. If I mean, I think we'll probably discuss it at a workshop to see what's the preference.
Yes. Bearing in mind we have to read everything, so
Yes.
probably flows better for us, but taking on board feedback.
Yes. But, well, my final question is, does the new software actually allow the old scheme to operate?
I would have to check that because we went straight into report and attachment straight after, but I could check that and then we could discuss options.
Okay. With you. Thank you.
Thank you. Other members of the chamber, thank you.
Thank you for the opportunity. My name's Steve Denham. I'm the president of the Historical Arms and Military Society of Tasmania. As you know, there is some discussion in relation to the property that we lease from the council. And I must say the council involvement in the last 4 years has been absolutely fantastic. But there is some discussion about the future of that, the area and the grounds that we use. And my question is there any indication of timeline that I might be able to relay back to members or the committee in particular about, as you can understand, a number of them are feeling fairly uncertain. We have over 100 members. Is there any indication of timeline or some indication of potential advice that I can give my members?
Oh, I wish I could answer that, but I don't know the answer.
Thank you, Mayor. I might actually ask our acting director to provide some info on that.
That's all right. Thank you, Mayor. Thanks, Steve. If all goes to plan, there'll be a report to council next month. I'm just saying if all goes to plan, just making sure all the documents we need comes in on time. So that will come up next month. If council endorses that, then the disposal process for all the 3 properties would be proceeding, subject to waiting for I think it's a 2-week appeal period plus a week's notice, so a 3-week period. I think we've had some discussions before though that the salvos are assuming it goes the way it's all planned, the salvos' immediate interest is really the former Golden Years Club building. Whilst they're interested in purchasing the other land, they're not in any urgent rush on doing anything there. So they've relayed, as I've relayed to you, that they're quite happy to maintain your existing agreement for the time being. As to how long that goes is, I guess, difficult for me to say, because if it goes as proposed, they would be the new owner. Having said that, it would be at least, we think, until March that whole process would wrap up, because there's title boundaries that need to be adjusted and the whole process to go through for that. So even if everything went perfectly to plan, it'd be around March would be the earliest, but that would be assuming they wanted you to move out instantly, which isn't the indication that they've given. They have some ideas around supported housing and some other developments on that land, which would obviously take quite some time to plan up and develop. But the message I've relayed is that they're quite happy for you guys to stay during that period, but whether that's 3 months, 12 months,
10 years.
Yeah, it's kind of the same position when you first moved in there, really, wasn't it? And it's now been, whatever it's been, years. So potentially that could continue on, but it's a little bit hard for me to say, other than certainly nothing before March. Following that, if it all went to plan, it would be really up to the new owners to really lock it in. But the indication from them is that wouldn't be anything in the immediate term. But sorry, I know that's still a little bit vague, but it is at least, it feels better than saying it would have to be March, because there's every chance it could be another 6 to 12 months on top of it if they're not.
That's good. It just gives us a little bit of insight into the future that I can pass on to the committee. So.
But obviously we can stay in touch with it.
Yeah, and thank you for the good work you do in the community and your 100 members. And also thank you for inviting us all to your fair. I'm sorry that didn't go ahead, but we do look forward to you doing another one.
Yes, well, it is in March the 29th, 28th and 29th, so now I know March is the date I'll have that in mind.
Yeah, and that's been approved by both us and the Salvos because we're not sure if that's around the time we think it would wrap up if the property disposal occurs. But they said they're more than happy to allow it if they happen to be owning it at that point.
Thank you very much. One little side issue too. We'll have chatted to Tim in relation to the Anzac Day and Remembrance Day. We're very keen to do more stuff within Glenorchy. We've been fairly focused with Hobart parades, and we have a number of vehicles, and we take the legacy people and all the rest of it. But we really like to give back to our local community. There might be all the RSLs, there's Claremont, there's Clarence, there's you guys, there's those sorts of things. So hopefully we'd like to work with you a lot more in the future. And there was some suggestion about recreating the Anzac walk that you used to have from the RSL through to there. And if that was the case, we'd be more than happy to manage a large part of that to make that happen. So it's just some things that we're looking for the future.
Excellent. Yeah, we appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. So if everyone's okay, I'll move on to item 7, which is petitions addressing council meetings. Are there any, CEO?
No, ma'am.
Okay. 8.1, activities of the mayor. Let someone move this, please.
So moved.
Thank you, Alderman Slade. Thank you, Alderman Marks. Would you like to open the debate, Alderman Slade?
No, just again, Mayor, another diverse group of areas that you've been in attendance to, which seems to be growing, and I'll just leave it up to if anyone else has any other comments.
Do you have any queries from anyone? No? Okay, well, I'll put that motion. Oh, you don't want to sum up?
No, I'm happy to.
All those in favour? It's carried unanimously. Thank you. 8.2, Glenorchy.
So moved.
Oh, that was good. Okay, thank you very much, Alderman Alderton. The Glenorchy City Council Chambers mural project.
I'll second, yeah.
Thank you, Alderman.
Still getting over this, Steve, the solid movement, yeah.
Yeah, that's all right. It was a shock, wasn't it? That's straight out of the box.
Yeah, threw me back.
Okay, would you like to start discussion?
I certainly would. I'm pleased to see this go ahead. This is a bit of a passion of mine. This was a dream of the late Alderman Jan Dunsby prior to her passing in 2024. She wanted to do something like this to leave a lasting gift to the people of Glenorchy and also to enhance the vibrancy of the CBD. I'm pleased that Council has actually taken on the initiative to go ahead with this mural, and it's in line with our policies and procedures in regards to promoting and creating art in the CBD. We've done a lot of this in the past in the Moona district, and I think this will enhance the bus mall, enhance the wall of the council chamber, and actually enhance the Glenorchy CBD. So apart from that, I'll throw it over to somebody else to comment.
Yes, Alderman King.
Thank you, Mayor. Look, I look forward to many more murals like this once this goes through, given this goes through to brighten our city up in some way, shape or form. I think this has a lot of potential to lift the profile of our city and lift the energy of our city. So that's my thoughts anyway.
Anyone else?
There's the
Oh,
one
thank
with the-
you, Alderman Cockshutt.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's all right.
You do.
That's all right. Yeah, thanks, Mayor. I was going to say, I agree with my fellow alderman's comments, and it was a dream of Alderman Dunsby, so I think you should be very pleased to see come to life, and I'm fully supportive of it. The more we can get in the city and make it more vibrant, this is a great sign of good graffiti, we call it, like good murals. So I think it really creates a good sense of belonging, and it really lights up the city. So the more we can do with this, the better, I think. So I love it. It's great.
Thank you.
Is it the one with the white flowers up there, or was it the one with the red flowers?
No, there was a slight problem. The red flowers don't exist in Tasmania, so we've changed it for a white flowering gum. We may get a red.
Mayor, if I could just clarify, the picture that was used in the attachment originally was the one with the not so defined magpie and red flowering gums, because the artist originally proposed that, and then when we were in discussion about making it totally native, he redid the concept, but we didn't receive it in time for when we had to publish the agenda. That's why we put concept over the mural. But this is close to the finished version. We are in discussion about maybe adding a little bit of red, but a native flowering native plant that might add a little bit of red. Otherwise, these white flowering gums are native to the area. In fact, the Moona, the name Moona means flowering gum or a gum from a particular area. So this is what these are.
Place of many blue gums.
Right. So this is, trying to depict those.
Is it a Waratah we're contemplating?
That's
Yeah,
one red flower.
down in that corner, yeah. Beautiful native plant.
There's a time.
Thank you, Deputy.
Thank you, Mayor. Certainly agree, certainly with Jan's vision to have this vibrant standing out, which is really pleasing to see council. And certainly everyone around the table in agreement with that. My question is regarding the protection of it and the maintenance of it, obviously being, quite a large piece of work, we've obviously will put on the normal things like anti-graffiti, all that sort of product. But I guess not my worry, but just thinking long term over the number of years that you need to keep these things up to standard. Is that all factored in and thought through?
Mayor, the wall has been prepped with primers, and we're bricking up where an old window used to be and removing a piece of flashing. So we're prepping the wall so it's reduced protrusions, priming it so the paint sticks well. And then once the mural's done, we'll be putting an anti-graffiti coating over it. If it gets attacked, our guys will remove the graffiti, but we would have to, I think we only can use the graffiti removal chemicals, I think it's about 9 times, and then we have to put a new anti-graffiti coating on. So yes, we've factored all that into the maintenance regime.
Yeah. And is there any thought around to having like a small plaque or something about Jan? Obviously, Jan was very much the driver of this. Is it an opportunity to recognise her on? Maybe that was just a question.
Mayor, we hadn't actually factored that in, but certainly happy to put some acknowledgement to Alderman Dunstan.
Yeah, it'd be nice to have that connection there.
Any further?
I just got one there. The clock looks a bit odd. It can't go up further, the clock, can it?
We've thoroughly investigated that because that was the first reaction from pretty well everyone who's looked at this. It's wired in, it's something that the community looked for, particularly when catching buses, etc.
Can it be done with another clock that's got perhaps a bit of a country look or something, or
country-looking clock?
well,
Digital one.
I'm talking about the hands and whatever. That's all. It doesn't look like something out of your kitchen or something. That's all. You can get those, like more wooden base and perhaps, I think some creative drawings could happen from somebody who's looking at some other clocks that would fit in better than a clock like that.
Is that the existing clock?
Yes, it's been widely discussed because it is wired and goodness knows what else, isn't it?
Mayor, it's what's called a station clock, and it's wired into the office behind so that you can get to it, change the time and adjust it for daylight savings and things like that. So we could investigate something that blends in a little bit more. When there was an original clock there that broke down, and we received a lot of requests from the community who used the interchange for a replacement clock. So it is used quite a lot. We can investigate.
Okay, Alderman Riddler.
Yeah, thanks, Mayor. My question's with the clock. Even though it can be altered from within the machinery inside the office behind, is there any chance of moving the clock to either the front of the building on the edge or the back of the building on the edge? That's option 1. Option 2 is about the clock. Would the clock be better if it was part of the waterfall, maybe, without the big surround?
Maybe just a freestanding clock on a pole.
Well, I don't know, but I appreciate that MT or Metro have got the issues for the clock, and I assume they originally installed it.
Luke would like to make a
Put it in
comment.
the flower.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. In terms of location, the clock does need to be facing the bus more because that's the people that want to read the clock. But the other point I was just going to make is it looks like it stands out probably more than it will in real life, because at the moment you've got a concept which is making that look like a solid sheet of paper basically that's printed that's on there. In reality, that's going to be the bricks and the surfacing and the 3 dimensions of it. I suspect, let's put it up there, look at the clock and have another look at it, because I don't think the clock's going to stand out as much as it appears to be on the photo when it's in real life and it's 3D and you've got the window frames and everything else. I suspect it's not going to look as much as though it stands out as much.
I'm just not sure here, Mayor, there's heaps of what they refer to as rural colonial clocks here with that are either got a wood frame or whatever, and I just think that would fit in better with that, those animals and everything else.
Okay, Alderman Cockshott.
Well, I've got the,
Oh, sorry, you want to finish, do you, Alderman?
yeah, 2 other questions. With the 2 lots of windows, can we, I know they've got to get light in there, can we have those sort of transfers that they put on the back of delivery vans, etc., taxis, where we've got a design that sticks on the window, but we still let the light in?
This isn't a print, it's a paint.
Sorry?
This isn't a print, it's a paint.
Well, yes, but we could certainly have a print that blends in with it, and then you wouldn't see all the windows. That could be investigated through the general manager.
Well, I think we'll take all this feedback on, and anyone else who wants to write in, but I mean, it is a mural and it's going on a
I
commercial.
understand there, but it's just the windows could be faded out with the transfers on there. You wouldn't even know the windows were there when you think about it, because those new stick-on signs that let the light through would
Yeah.
probably
We have
suffice.
discussed that, but you're right. We just see, that's the.
And the last question, Mayor, is our coat of arms, besides the magpie, we've got the Tasmanian tiger on there. Should we consider putting, someone's going to write in, so why wouldn't we put Tasmanian tiger on there?
That's a spotted quoll.
No, I know that, but why haven't we got, our coat of arms is the Tasmanian tiger and the magpie and the horse in it.
I think it's depicting the animals of Glenorchy, isn't it?
Sorry?
It's depicting the native animals of Glenorchy. I think that's the idea.
I mean, it's one of those things, where do you stop? Wombats?
Well, that's
squirrels,
just a comment there.
Lizards or animals. Yes,
Moving on from windows and clocks, and I'm not talking about doors, but
this is your second go, so it has to be a question.
yeah, it is a question.
Yes.
My question is, this is great, love it. Have the council identified further locations in the municipality where we could do more projects like this? Have we got that list, and is there a time frame when we can put it in the budget perspective to get more of these along the line? Because I think this looks great, but the more the better, the more for the city. So.
Very good question. We love your thinking.
Thank you, Mayor. I could answer that. We have got a couple other locations, the Cooper Street, the mural that's there now with the eyes, where the just below Glenorchy Central Car Park there. That is up for renewal, so it's going to be removed, reprimed, and a new mural go there. The bus interchange shelters themselves have been identified for murals of various types, and we're still trying to figure out what to put there at this stage. And there's a couple of other walls in Glenorchy. One is the we haven't not quite got to Moona yet, but we have identified a couple of walls that might work in Moona. The others, these are more the ones that are definitely going ahead. The train museum, transport museum, their second shed. They're looking at a concept design there that will support them in doing that.
Can we potentially get a list of sites and discuss it at a workshop? I know it's not a huge topic, but still, just it'd be good to keep the momentum up for this, please.
And following Alderman Riddler's suggestions too, for future ideas, if you've got any locations that you think are suitable, just feed them in. And Alderman Marks.
Yes, the Rosetta underpass, when you come under there, there's one side's got nice mural on it, and the other side looks absolutely awful, and it's always graffitied.
Yeah, I tend to agree with that. That's a state-owned facility, so we'd have to see how we go. Anyway, it's good to hear so much enthusiasm for brightening up the city and trying to deal with projects that prevent graffiti with street art. So is there any further discussion on this, or shall we go with the recommendation?
I'll close if you like.
Yes, you may.
So just in closing, I just want to make you aware as council that if you did want to do something with the windows, the technology is there today in regards to the metro buses, where basically the stick-on finishes, they've got the wraparounds. Basically, from an internal point of view, you're looking at like you're looking at a clear window. So there is the potential to not impede people's views out of those windows. Working in offices, if you want to go down that path. Just in summing up in relation to the clock, maybe we could consider putting a sundial or something, or some sort of added mural to incorporate the clock into an ancient type clock or something to fit in with the mural in question. Other things can be explored, I guess. And that's just about it.
Right. Okay, thank you. I'm going to put that motion to vote. All those in favour, raise your hand. Carried unanimously. Thank you for that. And now we're going to move on to item 9, which is our economic. Oops, sorry. 10.1. It's got 9 here. 10.1 is the play space. This is under environment, but this says economic. So I'll put a little there. Yeah, well, we do have someone learning on the job, so we might have got a couple of mistakes here. So let's go to item 10.1, which is the play space strategy progress update. Thank you very much, Deputy. And who would like to second it? Oh, right, I'll go with Alderman Hatcher. Right, Deputy, would you like to lead the way?
Thank you, Mayor. Certainly very proud of the play space renewals that we've delivered over the last few years. 20 new and upgraded play spaces, which we had significant works on, which is a fantastic effort, which I'm really proud of. And I'm also very excited about turning the destination play space up at Telosa Park in the financial year of 26-27, which is fantastic for our community. Much love. It's always number 1 or 2 on our priority list in terms of what we are to deliver as a council. So it's exciting to see the plans for this coming forward. I do have a couple of questions, if I could. We've got obviously still a number of spaces to redevelop, and I just wanted to find out if we've sort of sought funding for those play spaces. Is that something we're kind of looking forward towards? And is it a time way where we can kind of condense, 2040s, another 15 years away? Is there a way we could bring that potentially in closer?
CEO?
Yeah, I might throw to our acting director.
Yes, certainly. Thank you, Mayor. The 2041 date is really just the play space strategy that it plans it out for a 20-year period, effectively. That doesn't mean it's going to take us 20 years to replace all the play spaces. It was more that I think it identified about 30 that were quite urgently needed to be renewed because they were 20 years old already. So really, now that we've done 20, we do need to do another, I think it's about 9 more to catch up with the strategy. Whether that's a couple of years or whether we get a grant program that enables us to do a few more quickly. One of the issues that we're faced is, in order to do so many, we have also had to restructure our asset renewal program. There's only so many years we can do that without letting other assets sort of slip behind as well. So I guess we can't continue to, pull from our other asset renewals on play spaces. But we feel like we've, really, knocked the bulk of the work off with getting these 20 out of the way. With regards to grants, we are certainly applying for more grants. There's not a lot of grants around for play spaces. The interesting one that we've got an opportunity for at the moment is around the same grant program that does the changing places facilities. Is funding accessible, or at least the accessible component of play spaces. Apex Park is the one we're doing this year. We did have an application in for that, but it's just not going to be done in time. So we're just moving ahead with that with our own asset renewal funding. But proposed Tolosa Park playground would have significant amount of accessible equipment included as well. So we'll definitely look to that grant program to either reduce our outlay or increase the scope of the project to make it an even bigger playground. And we'll certainly keep our ears to the ground for any other grant opportunities as well. But sorry, back to your original question, we're probably only if we only did a couple a year, we're probably only 3 or 4 years out from catching up with where we needed to be.
Okay. Oh, that's good. Oh, that's great. Excellent. We're open for debate.
Thank you, Alderman Alderson.
Thank you. I just have some questions, Mayor. Look, what we've done so far is great. What we're planning to do in the future is great. But looking at the map and the saturation of play spaces around our municipality, and with a huge housing development potentially coming on board out of Granton, Whitestone Point growing, and lots of young children living in that area. Once we sort of get north of Roseneath Play Space, which was redeveloped, and by the way is fantastic, there's not really much north of there with such the potential for large growing housing development. Do we have a priority to create another play space in that part of the northern suburbs, a time frame, or something in the pipeline proposed plan, or maybe even a district play space out there?
Acting Director.
Thank you, Mayor. We do actually. So part of the Whitestone development has actually got a block of land set aside specifically for a significant play space. Probably something a little bit more than the Roseneath playground, but not quite Benjafield. So it's a significant play space. One of the reasons we've held off on that is partly because of the aged ones that we needed to renew first, but also that development's quite new, so a lot of the houses are only just going in. But definitely in the next few years, that is one where we would like to develop to support all that new housing. One of the thoughts in the back of our mind is sometime we've had 261 Main Road, a really large block of land on council's disposal list. It's been going through an extensive process because of some previous contamination and land stability and rezoning and strategic planning that needs to happen with that property. It's still being undertaken as we speak, but that one's soon to go out for community consultation for disposal to support housing as well. If that one goes through, it's a significant block of land that would be worth a sizable sum of money. Our intention would be to put a report back to council similar to this to release some of those funds to fund that destination play space out of Whitestone Point, which is literally just across the road from the land that we're looking to dispose.
So what sort of timeline are you looking at? 5 years? Or?
No, I think the disposal process is probably maybe 9 months away from being wrapped up, and then if that happens, we would look to release that funds in the year or two after that. So a year or two after that to develop it.
Thank you.
Any further questions? Thank you, Alderman King.
No questions, but firstly, congratulations to our staff in particular on 20 renewals that we have done. It's the most positive feedback I've had since being on council. When you make children happy, you make parents happy, grandparents happy, uncles, aunts, everyone happy. So it's been a wonderful thing that we've done. It's interesting, we want to approve the release of up to $1,456,856. It's just an interesting figure, specific figure of up to.
Yeah, it's only because that's exactly the amount that was in that disposal reserve.
Yeah, okay.
So that's the whole amount that's left in the open space reserve. But it's up to, because if we get some grant funding, we might not have to spend it all. So we want to be able to plan for a $1.5 million playground. If we can get some grant funding,
that explains that the community why we're asking for that. I think Tolosa Park of all places deserves the best playground we can give it, because we've done so much to it, and it is iconic and will be iconic, and this just adds to the finish, I think, the finishing touch of what's needed up there, except for Caravan Park, but that's another story. Anyway, thank you.
Okay, Councillor Kendall.
Thank you. I think you've stolen all my points there.
Sorry, Molly.
But no, also congratulations to the management of council at a time where there's just delays everywhere with building, that you can really see the push and the focus, and yeah, it's something we get to be proud of. So thank you. Also along the Tolosa Park line, because the whole plan has been developed now, having that destination play space renewal will really bring the whole thing to light, which is fantastic. I really enjoyed reading this again, and it's a great document to reflect on the demographics of of our area and the way that play spaces were laid out in our area. I'm really happy that consultation with the community said quality, not quantity, and that the spread of ages will shift a little bit now to not just the really young kids, but to be a bit more inclusive. And along those lines, so my question is, I think it was mentioned in our workshop about the foreshore, Berrydale foreshore having some exercise equipment, which potentially could be used by all ages, including the elderly. Is that within this plan?
It is. So you probably talk about the Montrose foreshore.
Yeah.
So there is an exercise equipment area there that's due for renewal quite soon. So we are looking at replacing that with modern equipment, potentially some more equipment. There's mixed messaging around the exercise equipment, how much it gets used, but the stuff specifically at Montrose does get well used because on the foreshore adjacent to the walking path and the jogging path, so it seems like quite a good site to continue that.
Thanks, Luke. And is there a time frame on that?
We are reviewing it at the moment, possibly next financial year, if not probably the year after. So within the next couple.
Thank you.
Okay, Alderman Slade.
Thanks, Mayor. I think it's really good when, even when we look at, and I know it's a document that might be a little bit out of tune, but we look at our community plan and closely we look at our annual strategic plans. And that's what we're very much responsible for. And we have a big component in that which talks about well-being. That word well-being is not bashed around purposely these days, but it's the real McCoy thing. And I just think it's great that we've got these playgrounds that just handsome our younger people in particular to participate and just remove themselves away from a phone or something of that nature for a while and actually can play in places like that are safe. And what happens also, and I did a bit of research on this, but when you build these play spaces like this, you actually bring back the identity of a neighbourhood. And that identity of a neighbourhood is very, very important. So, like the people in Chigwood, a couple of them that are in Myrna or Goodwood, people feel, they don't get obsessed or possessive of it, but they feel great that there's something in that area there that's part of theirs as well, and recognises the children that come there and play there. So neighbourhood recognition is a powerful tool, and I think that comes back again that we want to be proud of our suburbs and trying down the track to actually name our suburbs in a proper way. I think it's all part and parcel of it. But point number 3 also, which is that the fact is that I'm just amazed that when I go to these playgrounds with grandkids and whatever, the amount of people that go to them from other parts of Hobart. This is staggering. So we really are on the map. And look, we do good stories here at council, but honestly, this is a real good story. And down the track, the maintenance and all those type of things that our great landscape architect and his crew has done is just going to reduce costs, and he's developed better equipment going forward, and that only makes our city so much more sleek. And I think Ron Parr now has been a real leader when you compare to other councils in this space. Neighbourhood, safe equipment, low maintenance and whatever. I think that's a story itself, Mayor, and I totally support it.
Thank you. Any further discussion? No? Well, I might just say that in relation to point 2, Tolosa Park, like it's a destination in itself, and growing up it was one of the most fabulous places to run around with your cousins and have family parties and family meetings, and everyone came from everywhere, as Alderman Slade alluded to. But so this will be a really significant destination for Southern Tasmania, for people, communities together. Yeah, that's right, together, and also to connect families. It's free, it's healthy, and having a wonderful playground will make it even more special. I think that that's going to be an investment that is really going to set us up for that community destination for, as I say, having gatherings and significant events. We've also got the, what do we call it up there? The music bowl?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So it's already a wonderful place for people to gather for Christmas carols, etc., etc. But I think just the fact that people can go to such a vast open area with all these wonderful plants, the ponds, the grass, and just being free, it's just a wonderful service for the community. So I'm particularly looking forward to that one being developed, and I think the early discussions around the play equipment, which is going to be more nature-based, is really fantastic. So now who moves that one? The deputy.
Thank you, Mayor.
Would you like to sum up?
Yeah, well, the comments around the table, attest to exactly what we're after, and the neighbourhood type of thing being a destination. It's almost like the dam was a significant part, and that is now being rejuvenated. We're seeing the campsites, the huts rejuvenated as well, and this playground will also, potentially be the jewel in the crown, so to speak, of a great area which has seen generations come through. So it's fantastic to see it have this plan ready to go and the funds ready to go. So it's very exciting. Looking forward to it.
Thank you. So I'm going to put the motion or the recommendation. All those in favour? Carried unanimously. Thank you. Now we're moving on to item 11.5. Updated council policy, graffiti management. Who would like to move this one? Alderman Stringer, you look like you're ready to. Thank you. Thank you, and Alderman Marks. Okay, Alderman Stringer.
No, I move the motion. I believe the graffiti team has done a fantastic job up to date, and with the new funding has actually done even a better job as well, and we've seen that in the numbers over the past year, the amount of graffiti that they removed, and the plans of us to actually extend the actual graffiti department to be able to do better things on walls that actually don't belong to the council, etc., to extend that cleanliness across the city. So that's why I moved to this motion. Thank you, Mayor.
Yes, and I think you need a bit of credit because the other day you made a suggestion in the workshop that drones could be looked at for the high buildings to spray out graffiti, and that you've seen it work elsewhere. So I think that's something for us to investigate, a nice safe way of killing the offensive graffiti. Now, who'd like to speak next? Did I get a second to it? Yes, Tim Marks. Yes, sorry.
Thanks, Mayor. Look, again, there's not a competition, but I think if the other councils actually looked at what we're doing in Glenorchy and our residents could see, yes, you go out in the street and you'll see some graffiti anyway, but if you were at the presentations that we've had with our staff, in particular, the ones that are very closely to the removal of graffiti, extraordinary amount of resources have gone into this, and it goes further still will. And I think it's great that it's a learning curve. We've learned how to address it better equipment, and how to, report and whatever. And the end result's going to be working with other utilities so that they do their bit as well. So it's not just the council that's doing it. And then now we're going on to helping people in their private houses. This has got to bring back again another point, Mayor, that's in our strategic plans. The fact is we want to clean the city as well. So again, as a board of directors, as really what we are, we're starting to really hum in on the issues that our community wants. There's a few dollars involved here, but we think it's the proper way to go, and eventually we'll win this battle with graffiti. But honestly, what has been done now, what's done on a daily basis is quite phenomenal, and I commend all those that are involved. And I think we are heading down the track of creating a safer city and a more practical city for removal of these type of things, and having a real good graffiti management policy that everybody can be reflective on, whether you are actually a householder, a business, or you work at council. I support it, Mayor.
Thank you. Alderman Alderson.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. I would just like to further add to the debate and conversation that our council should be proud of the achievements it's done in regards to graffiti management. We have the graffiti manager comes along to our Safer City Committee meetings, gives us updates on what's going on in regards to graffiti, which I think is fantastic, a valuable part. It's a valuable part of our committee meetings, to be honest. And even the fact we're proactive as a council that we've had our manager go out. The manager's gone out and he's procured some small anti-graffiti kits, which we can encourage and get the community to support us in removing graffiti as well, because those kits are actually available. And I would love to see council expand on that and promote it, and maybe we can get some community buy-in on those small graffiti kits and contribute towards some of the cost, and then we might be able to obtain a lot more and really bring the community on board in regards to tackling graffiti.
Thank you. Thank you,
Thank
Deputy.
you, Mayor, through you. Just a question regarding the management policy. It was overdue for a number of months. Is there a reason that happened? No, expand on that.
Mayor, the graffiti management policy became overdue because there was work going on in the graffiti management plan to develop it, to work out how we would tackle graffiti on non-council assets. So there was work being done on a new approach, and it may be that council assists in some circumstances where graffiti is put on a shop front or a private property from public land and looks unsightly, may not be offensive, but looks unsightly. And the person who owns that property may not have the resources or ability to remove it, so council may step in to do that. So there was work going on that management plan, and we also produced some new service level documents, which are also attachments to this report to help guide our team on when to intervene and what to do with that removal.
Yeah, that's great.
Oh, sorry.
You're right. No, that's great. What I'd like, fully appreciate that, and things do take time, so I'm really happy it was done really well, and it's a complete package now. I'd really like us to continue to be proactively identifying those areas where, in certain parts of Dermot Park, it's quite a lot around that area. It'd be great for us to be proactively identifying spaces, identifying those owners, which is potentially could be difficult as those buildings may have tenants in them. So again, trying to work that out. But I think overall, if we can be proactive in this, I think this sets us up to be able to make those decisions, and it sets our council up to be able to enforce some things where potentially in the past we haven't been able to enforce it. So it's excellent, it's thorough, and I'm looking forward to seeing it in action.
Thank you. Thank you, Alderman Marks.
Yeah, I just wanted to inquire for you, Mayor. If we're going around other streets of Glenorchy and checking out for graffiti as well, because I know for a fact, corner of Pitcairn and Chapel Street, there's a shop and there's an old butcher shop next to it. The butcher shop's empty. Nobody uses it, but it's absolutely disgustingly covered in graffiti. The whole butcher shop and the back of the takeaway or whatever shop they've got in there at the moment is really bad.
Yeah, we don't have the resources to have proactive inspections. Usually we work on requests, service requests from the public. They alert us, apart from our own assets. They are privately owned assets, so council wouldn't be inspecting those on a regular basis. And once again, if it's offensive, council may intervene. However, what we'd do in that case is notify the owners that they have graffiti on their property, and it would be preferable to remove them. Yep, we can lodge a service request to request that.
Any further conversations? Councillor Kendall.
Thank you. Yeah, through you, Mayor. I think it's just important probably to note to the community who probably haven't read through the detail of these documents, which include both the graffiti management policy, and the main change there is to, as we've been talking about, allow us to work with owners to remove graffiti on, offensive graffiti on private property. But it also is, like, it's sounding a bit like graffiti bad, graffiti always offensive. There is detail in this graffiti management plan about diversion, and an important part of our approach to diversion is street art, because graffiti is a really important form of street art with a strong cultural tradition, and it is preventative in and of itself, because when there's incredible street art around, kids that are going around tagging will leave that work and respect that art piece. And we've got some incredible in-house skills in our management team at council. They really are great with working with up-and-coming artists to promote street art in a positive way. So I just thought it was important to put that comment in there. Yeah.
Thank you. And you can see the significant amount of work that's gone into this policy, but I'd also like to capture, I mean, it's hard to capture the joy and passion of the staff involved as they come in here and discuss their work, because they do take their job so professionally. They're so diligent at removing this graffiti and also keeping the city clean and tidy, and always coming up with efficiency measures on how to do it better each time. So we, as I say, like a lot of people will bag out their council and have lots of reasons why we get everything wrong, but on this subject and the subject of trying to restore pride back into Glenorchy, we are doing our damnedest to make this a clean and safe city, and a city that looks like it's cared for encourages the people who live in it to care for it as well. So if you see a shopping trolley out of order, push it back to Coles if you've got the ability. If you see rubbish, pick it up and put it in the bin. You know, and if you see graffiti, please ring the council and report it. So with that, is there any further discussion? I'll go back to the mover, who was Alderman Stringer.
No further discussion, your Mayor, except I fully endorse the resolution and congratulate the graffiti team for their work.
Yes, and all officers involved as well. Thank you. Put that recommendation. All those in favour? Yes, carried unanimously. It's a hard one to argue against. Item 11.6 is the audit panel charter and code of conduct. Do you want to move this one, Alderman Riddler?
I'm happy to move it, Mayor.
All right, Alderman Marks will second it. Thank you.
Yeah, and I'll say that it's a good move that we're extending the terms of the chair and independent members up to 4 years, in line with other councils, particularly Hobart and Launceston, and also to save significant recruitment costs and delays in recruiting independent audit members. And there's other changes there, but that's the main one, and I endorse the new charter.
Thank you. Would you like to make a contribution?
I was just going to say I endorse it too, because we're actually in the situation at the moment where I'm only a sub on the audit panel, but when we're in this break situation at the moment because the chair is finished up, and hopefully if we can get this through, he might come back in the longer term than trying to pay and find somebody else.
Thank you. The audit panel is a very important part of all councils. Any further contributions? No? Would you like to sum up?
Yes, Mayor, I'll just say that next audit meeting, panel meeting is the 28th of November, specifically because the chair's term finished at the end of November, so we brought the meeting forward. And you agree with that, didn't you? Yeah. So I think it's a good move to do that. And that's one of the problems with, you notice all councils regularly put adverts in the local newspaper seeking audit nominations for independent members, and it's very difficult sometimes to get in nominations for it because of the scope is so wide now.
Appreciate that.
So I'm happy that we adopt the motion.
Okay, I'll put the motion. All those in favour? Raise your hand. Carried unanimously. Here's an interesting one. Item 11.7, submission on reforms to councillor numbers and allowances. Who would like to move this one? Thank you, Alderman Alderton. Do I have a seconder? Thank you, Councillor Kendall. Please take it away.
Thank you, Mayor. So the relevant Minister for Local Government has advised all councils that we need to reduce our numbers and they want to change our allowances, etc. And I think it's vitally important that we support this motion, which involves us submitting a submission and putting forward some of our views and some of our opinions on this very important reform that the state government is undertaking in regards to council allowances, council numbers, etc. And that's probably about all I've got to say.
Thank you. Any further contributions? Thank you.
Mayor, all I just say is that, I suppose I can say that being on council for a long time, that we have matured and council has got much more complex than it was back in the 80s and 90s. And what I like about this summary is going through, it's very, let's say, in line to what a board of directors is. And the type of activities that we do here around the council is one of a strategic nature. It is one of strategic decision making. And I think they well and truly reflect a modern day process whereby there is superannuation involved, there is pay as you go, and that we're not treated just as an allowance, but a proper, in brackets, salary type of remuneration. So I think things have caught up. I think they've caught up, and it's very open for the people in the community to see that, and that I hope it attracts other people to stand, because I think people haven't stood before for council because there just hasn't been an attraction there, like board positions, whatever. So I hope that works as well, and I think they all make common sense, and I hope they are taken on board with the enthusiasm that it was written for.
Thank you, Deputy.
Yeah, thank you. Through you. Yeah, I'm supportive of the submission. I think it really does explain very well the thoughts around that were gathered around the table. Certainly around those common sense type role where this is really very much like a board, like a directors, having superannuation and the tax components part of that. I think that's smart. It's a moving forward. It's a modernisation of it. We're very much about strategic direction. We're not here to discuss clocks potentially. We're here to make strategic decisions, make decisions around funding, and to make the city a better place to live and work. So I'm fully supportive of the submission.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Thank you, Councillor Kendall.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm really happy with this submission. I can see what the thrust of this is, and I think that making this move to fewer elected members, probably using a per capita basis, will bring us into line with what's happening elsewhere in Australia. I think it makes sense, and I think it will bring some equity to the fact that when you are an elected member, you do have to forego other forms of employment. So it does put a barrier in there for people who need to work 5 days a week. So it'll take that away, and the super contributions as well. Like if you're on a lower income, making those voluntary super contributions becomes much harder. So I think this will really help it to be a more appealing possibility for people in lower income brackets.
And I think also that it's recognising the professionalism of the sector and the responsibility that we take on managing, what are we now in assets? It's
At $1.2 billion.
$1.2 billion in assets, and the staff 400. Is that full-time equivalent?
About 360.
Yeah. So we're equivalent to a very significant board, and we are responsible for making significant decisions on behalf of the community. We do put in a lot of hours, not only, as you can see by the reflected reading and all of the other stuff that we get on a day-to-day basis, but we do take it as a privilege to serve the community nevertheless, and we do hope that the government, they have said that they're quite serious on doing this, so we support their actions. All those in favour of this, oh no, I'm sorry, I should go back to Alderman Alderton, just checking.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. I would just like to add that I thank the input from my colleagues around the table. Everybody has had their say and pretty well summed up the general consensus and the general feeling in relation to our submission.
Thank you. All those in favour, raise your hand. It's carried unanimously. Thank you. Now we're moving on to item 11.8 is the Capital Works Status Report. Who would like to move this? Thank you, Alderman Marks. A seconder, please. Thank you, Alderman Alderton. And Alderman Marks, would you like to
No,
start debate?
just that it's good to see that we're actually keeping under budget, I believe, and keeping the capital works going that we need to do, especially up, I believe there's a lot more work going on up at the tip, so very happy with it.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Thank you, Alderman Alderton. I'll come back to you, Deputy.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd just like to share part of the report with the community, those watching online and those listening, that basically, as of the 25th September year to date, our expenditure was 4.2.84 million, representing 13% of our total $32.325 million annual capital works budget. So some of the highlighted areas were transport 2.24, property 0.53 million, plant and equipment 0.75, stormwater 0.26, major grant funding was just under 0.50 million, and our ITC and fleet programs have yet to commence, so we don't have any figures on those.
Thank you. Thank you, Deputy.
Thank you, Matt. Through you, just a question regarding the Glenorchy pool, the reopening repairs. Is it possible to have, it's had 30% of the works completed? Is it possible to have a budget and an understanding of the internals of that? I know it's sort of grouped in there as a major project, but can that be expanded to get some clarity around those funds being spent?
So just through there, you'd like to see a bit of a breakdown of where the money's been spent?
Yeah. So just in terms of, just so we've got good oversight of it, and so we can monitor it, just transparency and oversight, I guess.
I think we could do a breakdown of what was in the scope of works for the builders, and we can allocate. You'd like to track, so progressively see expenditure?
Yeah, it'd be good just to be able to see that, just be able to monitor it. That was, I guess.
So just to clarify, in the next capital works report, have a section on the pool and summarise what's
Yeah,
been done,
yeah, we just had the quarterly, because it was in the quarterly as well, so potentially not, maybe in the quarterly report, does that?
Yeah, this is.
That's for the following one, for the following quarter?
Sure.
Yep.
Well,
that make
can
it-
I suggest we get something for next workshop,
Well,
which I won't be at. Oh, yes, I will.
that suits you.
Of this quarter's capital, we'll get a summary at the next workshop.
Mayor, we've got the CFO here, sorry to put you on the spot, CFO. We do a monthly financial report. We could possibly put a table in that to let deputy members know if that's okay.
That'd be
It's
great.
fine.
Yep, that'd be great. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Good solution. Thank you. Any further discussion? No, I put that recommendation. All those in favour? Carried unanimously. Now we move on to item 11.9, quarterly report. Oh, have I just done that one? Yes. No, sorry. Item 11.9.
Yeah, 11.9.
Quarterly report for the quarter one period ending 30th September 2025. Starting at page 226. Thank you very much, Councillor Kendall. Yes, that's seconded. Thank you, Deputy.
Thank you, Mayor. I think this is a fairly straightforward one. This is the first report from Emilio as CEO. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Suggest the community check it out as a bit of a change of format. Yeah, even if you just checked out the strategic and operational highlights at the front, but there's some beautiful pictures in there, a great update about council activities. Clear how much work's gone into it. So open it for debate.
Anyone like to make a contribution?
Yeah,
Thank you,
thank
Deputy.
you, Matt, through you. Just a question regarding the vacancies. I nearly feel like I ask this every 6 months. I guess we're actively trying to find those roles, the positions. I guess we're not doing any work because we don't have those people, or is it? I guess, are we actively looking for that?
Yeah, we're constantly recruiting, but we also are constantly having people either retire or move on for other things. They're not, I mean, the jobs are varied, so we're recruiting in lots of broad areas, but we also have people leaving. At one stage, we had a lot of people leaving our works area because the Bridgewater Bridge was going on, and people took the opportunity to go there. So we did have a lot of recruiting going on in that area. That's quietened down a lot now because the bridge is now finished. But we've got other areas where people are just moving on, and we're recruiting for. I guess some of the example areas, we've had some movement in our HR team. ICT is an area where we're recruiting, and planning, we've had a couple. It's still in works, we've had a couple as well. So it's just sort of widespread. We are continuing to function and do the work, it's just that, we have that churn.
Okay, so that's good. I just want to acknowledge the amazing work. This document is my favourite document. I love the quarterly report. And it really does highlight. So if anyone is listening or here, please take the time to peruse it. It is exceptional what our council is doing, and we should be really proud of. And if you work for our council, you should be very proud of the organisation that you work for. Is it possible for this quarter report to be distributed wide? I think I've asked this question probably before, to our local parliamentarians, to business influencers, to business leaders within our community. I guess it's something that's such a great report. I just want our community to know, if that makes sense. Is it possible?
Well, thank you for the kind words. I'd ask though, Mayor, through you, we will have an AGM coming up soon. We'll have our annual report done. So that's for the previous financial year, of course. And we'll have those probably bound up in a nice little annual report booklet. That one will be.
I think that'd be great.
Better option.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think if it's the physical format, I think that's great. I think if we're able to have some sort of list that goes out to the quarterlies, I just think it's so much work goes into it, and it's such a really good snapshot of what we're doing. I think we should be saying it as far as we possibly can to everyone that we can, anyone of influence about it, to let everyone else know what's going on in our good city. So,
Okay, Alderman Ridley.
I endorse the deputy's comments, but I would suggest if we're going to put it as part of the annual report, quite often companies put a post-balance day summary, and we could do that as a quarter in the back of the annual report, because it's nothing to do with the previous financial year, but it'd be nice that we could circulate that this is what's happened in the last, because our AGM is like 5.5 months after the post-balance day, so it makes sense to put a bit of an update there. I don't know whether we go for a quarter or even for a 4-month or 5-month period, but at least a quarter. I don't know about you, Deputy, would you be happy with that, at least the first quarter?
If it depends if that works in with
what do you think, Mike?
the team.
We're getting the nod from the same place.
And we'd probably get a better write-up when the Mayor delivers her speech. We'd probably get a better write-up there in the press if we said, we're on track post-balance day, because it's all that's historical stuff. And I think also, Mayor, I've mentioned this to the CEO before about, the one line exception reporting is great. I'd even make it even a bit shorter video, but I'll talk to you later on that. But no, it's quite snappy actually, which makes it pretty good. Thank you. It's good.
Any further commentary? No, I'd like to support it as a great read as well. Makes you feel quite chuffed when we haven't been hands-on, as you'd appreciate, but we do make the decisions that allow our professional staff to do the work. Coming back to your comment, Deputy, on staff shortages, I think this has been a bane of local government for as long as I can remember, because there are certain jobs like hygienists, which I believe are not trained in Tasmania, No, planners are always in short supply. There's a whole lot of jobs that there's only a limited number in Tasmania of people in those professions. And the problem is with 29 councils, it's an endless cycle of poaching. So you have Council A offers Planner B, you know, a certain amount of money, and then they go to that council, and then another council's poaching them, and we're looking for someone else. So it's a big problem when there's 29 councils for that. Plus unemployment is as low as it's ever been in Tasmania. So it's not for anything. I think our reputation and status and the fact we've been Employer of the Year in the sector stands us in good stead. But these people are very valuable and very much in short supply. So thank you, Alderman Riddler.
Just
It'll
a
have to
question.
be a question, yes.
Yeah, just a question. Is it worth that we put, recite what we would like to do in the AGM and the report, which not everyone will see? Should we consider putting a quarterly snapshot in the community news of this? Because it could either be part of the Mayor's editorial bit from the Mayor, or another little table underneath, we're on track type. Pretty snappy, one not too long, just to, we get, what do we issue, 18,000 copies, don't we, of that paper, something like that? Yeah, well, we don't issue 18,000 AGM annual reports, but I think this would be good that we did this on a quarterly basis.
Any further contributions? No, I'm going to put, oh, wait a minute, to go back to Councillor Kendall, do you?
No more to say.
No more to say, okay. All those in favour, raise your hand. Carried unanimously. And now we're moving on to 11.11, good governance policy. Oh no, I missed one, sorry, I've got ahead of myself. 11.10 is delegations to Chief Executive Officer. Okay, who would like to move this one? Thank you, Deputy. And Secretary, thank you, Alderman Marks. Would you like to open the debate?
Yeah, so obviously there's a question, an answer to a question I spoke with the CEO around the table around our delegations to the CEO, how that operated and how that looked. And I'm really pleased that this is being brought together into a comprehensive document. I asked some questions around, if you read the delegations, some of the delegations, the language isn't quite, doesn't flow. So it refers to each council and so it doesn't quite flow, but I appreciate that that's referring to the item out of the Act itself. So I fully understand that. And if we can, you know, obviously I've had a good read of that. I'm really happy with how it is presented aside from that. So hoping and a leader open to the other councillors to make a discussion on.
Any discussion? Thank you, Councillor Kendall.
Thank you. Yeah, so just because this meeting's been sickeningly positive, to bring a bit of negativity, I struggled with this document. I mean, I really appreciate the impetus to put all of the delegations in the one place, but actually reading it. So there it is, just bringing some negativity to the table. But my question is, I know it's important to review delegations, and is there a process of reviewing it? Sorry if I've missed that in the detail, and what is it?
A certain level of governance enforced on us by state in the regulations, but would you like to add to that, CEO?
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. First, I'll address the negativity.
Most unusual from Councillor Kendall.
The delegations register has been a bane in every local government area's existence, because they're complex. Their delegations come from numerous acts, like lots of them, and there's never been a set template or table to use until just recently. So the Local Government Association of Tasmania took it upon themselves to turn it into a project and to try and bring it all together. The Deputy Mayor did point out there was some hard to read or inconsistencies, and in checking that, some of it is directly out of some of the acts. So obviously different acts refer to things a little bit differently, but it's the same thing. and there's reference to a board, which there is the DPA board that also controls things or makes decisions that we also have to, we have actions from. So we've sort of got to refer to that board. But we probably could make it a little bit clearer, and that is a project that we have one of our governance officers working on, to keep working on the delegations register to improve it, make sure it's easy to read from a layman's point of view, and we can bring it for regular updates when those changes are made. So there's no set timeframe or procedure, but we will actually do that, because if there's continual upgrading going on, and there's probably the additional delegation that might get added as time goes by, we would bring it back to council for endorsement on a regular review. Probably most policies are once every 4 years we would do that, so it would be around that time frame, and possibly sooner if we had changes where we had to get endorsement from council on. Did I address all of it then? The negativity and the review period? Yeah, sorry. It is a very cumbersome document to read and manage.
And Alderman Alderton?
Okay, thank you, Mayor. So, question towards the CEO, and it's not from a negativity point of view from me, because I don't think by any means this is a negative document, but CEO, has there sort of been any consideration given to, rather than having it laid out the way it is, where it has an S number, then an item, and then the delegated person? Has council considered looking at twisting it around the other way, and maybe having a delegated person, and then list all the S's and the tasks they're responsible for, just to shrink the document up a bit, tighten it up so it's just not so great in length and such a long read. I think I sat down and probably alone spent, close to an hour going through this in great detail. So just this one document.
Mayor, we are following a template that has been set down by the Local Government Association. So this is the format that they've recommended, and all councils are now following this format. I'm not sure if we change it around whether it would be the odd one out of that, but I might throw over to our Director of Corporate and Community.
Thank you, Mayor. The issue that we have is that the delegation comes from legislation, so we try and hang it off of that legislation, because we need to keep track of if the legislation's updated, amended, how does that, it may or may not affect delegations, but that's where we need to monitor that. Now, the Local Government Association of Tasmania have stepped in and are assisting councils so that we have that commonality now across councils by adopting this. And it's just easier if we pin it to the legislation first, and then various items of it then go to officers. So we've tried to create that uniformity. That way, in the updating, it becomes much more streamlined.
Right. I guess for us, from the elected member point of view, if you went the other way and started with the officers and listed their delegated tasks, etc., that would simplify the process and the reading for us, I guess.
If we are doing reorganisations and titles change, sometimes it just needs to go.
I'll give you a couple.
Okay, any further discussion? At the end of the day, the CEO is pretty much delegated to do all day-to-day operations, and how he delegates them down from that point of view is his discretion. And we're more strategy and oversight. So just before we go to the recommendation, for anyone watching online, and given a little bit of criticism we've had previously about the number of unanimous decisions, I would like to reassure people that, as you heard from Alderman Alderton and other elected officials around here, we are reading all of our papers. We are attending workshops where the explanations are given to us, so we have a greater understanding when we come to vote on it. And that's why you'll probably see that there's the odd questions and things, but we do not suffer from groupthink. We are very much a diverse council with very diverse opinions, but that gets worked out in workshops generally, and we then have a greater understanding of the rules and regulations and what we're dealing with. So I am going to put this recommendation to the vote. Oh, sorry, would you like to?
Yeah, my only comment is obviously it's good. Fully appreciate the team's work in this. I would love it to be part of our, I guess, for the new term coming up, you know, for the current elected members to have at least a view of it, to be able to see it, to some understanding of what they've actually delegated. So that would be great moving forward. But otherwise, yeah. Happy.
Okay, I'll put the vote. All those in favour? Carried unanimously. Thank you. And now we're moving on to item 11.11. Thank you, the good governance policy, and I can see Alderman Marks bursting out of the box there. So you're going to move it. Who'd like to second it? Thank you very much, Alderman Slade. Alderman Marks, open debate, please.
Yes, I'd just like to say that this is a really good policy. It shows to the community that we, as a council, as you just mentioned, we read our paperwork, we study everything, and we make the decisions ourselves. We don't make a decision as a group, but as you said, everything else is worked out in a workshop, and we sit down and spend our time, and it shows that we're actually caring about our community, because we're not here for ourselves like other councils. I'm not going to name any, but we care about our community and we do everything that the community asks.
Thank you. Anyone else like to make a contribution? Thank you. That was very quick. I'll go with Alderman Alderton, followed by Alderman Slade.
Well, thank you, Mayor. I would just like to point out it's vital that councils have good government policies. Good government policies ensure that councils have sound management practices. Without good governance policies, you will fall short in regards to sound management practices.
Thank you. Alderman Slade?
Yeah, Mayor, I'm not being pedantic, but I just like to raise a couple of issues. We do talk about codes of conduct, and we also talk about the risk management policies, and do refer to public interest disclosure, whistleblowers procedures. But what's missing, I'd like to see underneath the bring back down here. I'm seeing underneath the legislation, we do actually mention the corporate governance standard and the fraud and corruption control. I'd like to see be added AS 8002 to overall. I'd like to see organisational codes of conduct put in there, and also I'd like to see whistleblower Australian standard to put in there as well.
Just as the numbers, or?
Yeah, the fact that they are something that we take on board as well, underneath the heading Australian international standards.
Okay. Is there a standard for whistleblowing?
Yes, there is, Mayor.
Okay, cool. Let's pop that in then. So does that need an amendment?
Well, not really. It says up there for any minor grammatic. So we're looking at AS. We're looking at AS 8002. The -2003 for the organisation codes of conduct, and AS 8004 -2003 whistleblower protection programs. That's if we're going to talk about down below that we're going to look at these sort of things that we need it. I think we need to just put a legislation up there to where we're going to benchmark that against, or where we're going to get some of our principles from. That's all.
Mayor, we'd be happy to.
That's what it is. It's nothing.
And can I just ask, should we also refer that back to the Directorate? I can remember working on this document in about 2018, and it is meant for all councils, so we should probably share those learnings and put those numbers in. Yep. Okay, Deputy.
Thank you, Mayor. Just a couple of queries, well, a couple of comments I've made. I've brought them to the CEO's attention just regarding some mentions of aldermen, if that could be updated to elected members. There's a range of references to the automatic statement of expectations 2018, which we've updated with our 2022 statement of intent, Now, would that be something that we should have in this? Not.
Sorry, Mayor, does one replace the other?
Yes, one replace the other,
Yeah.
and through you, Mayor, we're quite happy to make those changes. I don't think they alter the context or the
No.
intent of the document at all.
No.
And it's just a change really in titles. The statement of intent largely incorporated the same details and documents as
Yes.
the original.
Yeah.
So we're quite happy.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, if it could be, those things, if they can be replaced and mentioned, that would be great.
Thank you, Alderman Alderton.
Just a question, so in regards to that, I guess elected members that have any concerns, like the Deputy Mayor, can shoot an email through to the CEO after we approve this policy and make any minor adjustments without it coming back to council for another vote. That'd be correct?
Unless it changes the intent. Yeah.
Right, yeah, happy for that, any feedback like that. As long as you mentioned, it doesn't change the intent of the policy, otherwise it would have to come back to the council.
Okay, any further discussion on this one? Alderman Marks, do you want to come on? In that case, I'll put that recommendation to the vote. All those in favour? Carried unanimously. Now moving on to item 11.12, which is the Environmental Health Services Pro Rata and Refund Policy. And we're on page 381 of the agenda. Who would like to move this one? It's got the word environmental in it.
I'm happy to move.
Thank you, Alderman Slade, and thank you, Alderman.
I'm happy to move it, Mayor. I went through this one and I don't think we're being rude. There was too much here. I was going to lose too much sleep over because it's a few changes and where it reflects council's actions, and I feel quite comfortable with what's been changed and the recommendation as is up there. I support.
Thank you. Any further? Thank you, Alderman Riddler.
Yes, Mayor, I'm against this, and I'll tell you why. The amounts for these licences is usually less than, it's just a nominal amount of $200 and very rare maybe over. But to give you an example, if you pay a business a name renewal to ASIC, which I think is about $80 per annum, or a annual review fee for your company, which is about $400, Australian something, and or a credit license annual fee of $1,100. If you shut up shop next day, you don't get a refund for pro rata. And my argument here too is that for the small amounts, there's a significant cost to generate the refund for our employees, plus direct costs, plus on costs. So I'm really wondering whether we should, if we do adopt something like this tonight, whether there's a minimum amount before we consider a part refund. So I just throw that around the table, see what other aldermen think.
Point 3 covers that.
Sorry, Stuart, which one?
Point 3, is a refund of 6 months. It's tied to only, so there is some.
Yeah, that's 6 months, but we're talking very small amounts, and it's the cost of generous, like our peppercorn rent on leases we do. When I first got on council in 87, it was $10 or something, and then we just realised it was costing us $50 to do the lease. Now I think the minimum cost for a lease through the director is $250 or thereabouts, or $300. So we should be factoring in what it costs to generate a refund, and that's not really put in this report.
Okay, I think just before we go to Alderman Alderton, I think the acting deputy,
Acting director.
Acting director would like to make a contribution.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. I think your point's valid in terms of the time it takes, but I think the policy is partly there to make that super simple.
Yeah.
That if you apply within 6 months, you'll get 50% back. If you apply after 6 months, you get nothing back.
Yeah.
Here's the policy, it's black and white.
Yeah.
There's no more conversation entered into. In lieu of having something like this, what you're going to get is every one of those people are going to make a personal request to council and argue the toss with letters and responses and then write to the mayor and then write to you. A part of this process is actually to make it really simple. Go, look, if within 6 months, here's 50% back, we're done. I understand what you're saying, but that is what we're trying to achieve at the same time.
But we've got very small amounts of money, it's costing us more. Should we have a minimum that they can get back?
We had to do a haul hire for was $26 or something the other day.
Through the CEO, do you think we should have a minimum, like if it's more than, say, $500, you get 50% back or something?
Mayor, I do wonder about the amount of administration we'd have to deal with if we're writing to everyone and trying to explain or defend that decision. It would be 6 to 1 and half a dozen of the other.
Right, anyone else?
I'm reluctant to agree with you, but okay.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, Brendan.
I've partly had my question raised and answered by the acting director, and Alderman Riddler sort of raised it. I was just going to raise, could we potentially, within the first 6 month period, not consider refunds of a value less than $50? That's the question I was going to ask, but it's sort of partly been answered.
Thank you. Alderman Slade?
Mayor, I just think it's fair. It's been sorted out, put forward by management. We have got a heart, not ASIC, and I think there is some limitations there of a cut-off figure that's not going to cause extra administrative nightmares, and I support the recommendation as stated.
Okay, and we are trying to foster entrepreneurship, but I do understand.
Yeah, okay. I'm reluctant to agree, but I will.
Right, okay, so who moves that one?
I did.
Alderman Slade, yes, that's right. Alderman Slade, do you want to sum up?
Yeah, I'm happy how it is. I believe there is opportunity there for some representation by those people to get some back happens, and I support that rather than the one-on-one case. I'm happy with that how it is there.
Okay, so then I'm going to put that recommendation. All those in favour, raise your hand. Thank you, carried unanimously. We're moving on to item 11.13 on page 393 of 395 pages. And it is notices of motion or questions on notice without notice or without notice. Do we have any? Right, Alderman Riddler first.
Yeah, Mayor, interesting that the public can tap in online. Are we keeping statistics on the number of attendees or people that watch our council meetings?
They're in your minutes.
Oh, they're in the minutes, are they? The numbers?
Mm-hmm.
All right. And the other question is, I like the new style. I just like Mr. comment about having to go to through 395 pages. It's working quite well, except there's one problem. When you want to go back to the agenda, you've got to go punch in page 6. I'm wondering at the footer where we've got the page numbers there, that we can actually click say we want page 6 is the agenda rather than have to go right back to punch 6 in. Can we have a default agenda at the footer of the page?
Table of contents on the right hand side.
Oh, that'd be all right.
It's there. You just click on table of contents on the right hand side.
Yes, where's that?
The very first one on the bookmarks.
Could you show me, please?
Okay, is that all, Alderman Riddler?
Yeah, thanks.
Okay, I think it was Councillor Kendall, yes.
Yeah, thanks. So I would like to ask a question. So I would like to ask whether council would consider becoming a Grow It Local council. So the background info to this is that Grow It Local is a not-for-profit organisation. They're the same team behind the Garage Sale Trail. They partner with individuals can sign up for membership, but also they partner with councils to help residents to grow food at home. So council membership would mean that all the residents in our LGA would have availability of free heirloom seedlings to be posted, not seedlings, seeds, to be posted to them, and also online membership, online workshops, educational resources, and a whole nationwide community of growers. So growing food at home has been shown to reduce emissions, cut food waste in people's homes, and help people in the cost of living crisis. Yes, so it costs a very small amount. I would have to get a dollar figure on that, but it won't cost anything to our residents in order to access membership if council decides to sign up. So the program also has well-known advocates such as Costa and everyone's favourite Hannah Maloney, champion growing food at home. It's pretty much for people who are just starting on their growing food at home journey, and I think it would be a great benefit to our local residents. So my question is, would council be open to inviting Grow It Local to present to a council workshop and to outline the benefits and costs of participation? And secondly, if favourable, would council consider proceeding with membership of our residents so they can access the program for the upcoming growing season? Get some tomato seedlings in.
I'd definitely like to support you, Alderman Kendall, on that one, because I have had some very disturbing conversations recently with people in the community sector about how the need has escalated beyond capacity. So we actually have people in our own community who are experiencing food poverty at a level not seen for many years. We're also seeing longer and longer queues for the St Vinny's van that gathers up. And I think, encouraging people to grow food at home has huge benefits. Getting them outdoors. It's interesting to raise your children with where vegetables actually come from, not in plastic bags from the supermarket. So yes, I'm very supportive that we send it to a workshop. Would you be happy with that? Yeah. Alderman Marks?
Yeah, I just wanted to speak on that. I'm very supportive of the situation as well, because actually, I don't know if many people know, some councillors would know, back in 2018, I put in an application to council to start a community garden in Glenorchy out at Canberra Avenue, and it was shut down by council. It wasn't going to cost council any money. I actually paid peppercorn rent for the lease of the land. I got the lease of the land, and then they refused me to build the garden on there. And I'd already paid for the lease of the land, which it was $5, but which doesn't stress me. But I was happy to build something for the community. I had garden beds ready to go there, raised garden beds from the Berrydale Community Centre, and since now they've been disposed of at the tip, and they could have been used.
Just a question on that, is that 2018? That was when we were shut down. Quarry. So I don't know what part of council said no to it. Yeah.
Could we?
It was downstairs, it wasn't the council.
Yeah, okay.
All right,
Yeah,
well, I'm
point of
the
order.
deputy, yeah.
Well, just point of, obviously, we're answering a question.
True.
Do we need to have a
You're right,
discussion?
you're right,
Is that
you're right. No, it's
something
totally
we can
right.
answer the question?
But it did concern me.
Is that the question? Or is it?
No, the time frame just concerned me, that was all, so I appreciate that. But when you've been through that time frame, yes, you'd understand, so I apologise for that.
Oh, no, it's fine. I just procedural, that's all.
Yes.
But no, I'm just saying, I do support.
Yes, very good. Thank you. Alderman Alton.
So a question relating to Alderman Kendall's question, and I like the idea of a workshop, but I think rather than have it in a council workshop, if we do want to get the community involved, bring this subject matter and these people talking to an open council workshop. So we have the community here in the room.
If we have the time.
Question. With a question on notice, is it because it's a question, not a motion?
That's right.
So it's a question. So
So
we
people
don't need to be, are we able to debate that question?
I don't think we're debating it, we're questioning the question.
Question. But is it a question to council? As in?
It's a question with a question.
No, it's a question whether we can have a workshop on this topic.
Yeah, I say it's an emotive question. So
My question is, can we have an open workshop?
Okay, let's get a ruling from the CEO.
Yeah, it's a question to the council. You could possibly put it to the vote just to say yes, support a workshop. And that would be the first step rather than the follow-ons, because the workshop would provide you with enough information then to make any other informed decisions from there. I would suggest it be a closed workshop, sorry, Alderman.
Oh, okay.
Alderman, just to, we don't know what we're going to have yet, so it'll be a new ground we'll be treading to find out and learn more, and then it could possibly be
Potentially lead to an open workshop
later.
CEO. Right, that's fair
Bit of
enough.
an idea.
That's fair enough.
Nice.
I think if you want the community
Okay.
involved, you've got to bring the community.
Is that a motion?
So do we take that as motion, CEO? Yes. Is
I'll
everyone
second it.
happy? You'll second it? Right, thank you. So we're taking that as a motion.
Could you just read the motion out?
Yes, you want all of what councillor Kendall read out before?
That's for a closed workshop.
Yeah.
I could just ask, can the council, I move a motion that the council consider becoming a grow it local council area and that they come to a closed workshop.
Well done, thank you. So we have a mover, a seconder in Alderman Riddler.
Yep.
Any, no? Why are you shaking your head?
Notice of motion.
Notice of motion. Oh, it's a notice of motion.
Yeah.
It's all on the same, it's a notice of motion, question on notice, question without notice.
We can send it to a workshop anyway.
You're just supposed to say yes and then we move on.
The answer is yes. Computer says yes.
Motion without notice.
So now we're,
Okay, so I'm none the wiser now.
Well, I'm wiser.
You're moving it, yeah.
Moving, you got a second?
Yeah, can I just say,
With your making a motion or with?
can I just say, look, it is really best practice for matters of this nature, so there's no debates and things like that, that these things come through as a written notice of motion.
Which we did get.
When?
Today, was it, or yesterday?
Yeah, so I sent a little heads up so you could check out.
Oh, no, I'm talking about a notice of motion as given to the CEO. That's part of a document that's in our agenda. That's what I'm talking about, notice of motion.
That's why you have one for notices of motion, questions on notice or without notice, which is a last minute opportunity.
And the tomatoes are done and dusted if we don't move on.
Yes. Anyway, we've heard the question on notice. We do have a notice of motion now.
No, point of order, you've got a motion without notice and we're on 11.13. We were on 11.12, which was questions on notice and motions with notice.
Was the.
So we've jumped in 11.
Oh, sorry, yeah, 11 point, yeah.
Yes, so we're on 11.13 or 13, notices of motion, questions on notice or without notice.
Yep.
We are there, yeah.
Cool.
Is everyone happy just to move forward? Does anyone else have another question?
About
This can go to a workshop anyway.
Yes.
Right. No more questions? Right. Someone please move a formal motion to close the open.
No, we need to vote on that motion.
Or are you withdrawing the motion? We're just going to go to the workshop. What are we doing?
No, I thought you were about to put the motion.
I was, and then I got shut down. So the ruling is that she's asked a question and we're going to go to a workshop with the answer.
So the other.
She's removed the motion, she's withdrawn the
No,
motion.
she asked a question.
So if
Changed it.
you put it as a question, you could move it as a motion, or in close, we do have a section that has,
Questions and motions and notice.
yeah, questions or on notice, without notice. Sorry, hang on.
it is a motion of motion. It's a motion without notice.
Yes, that's right.
Can I do a
Which is
motion?
11.13.
Yeah, which is what I thought.
Yeah.
That doesn't have the dash.
Sorry?
If you read the agenda, notice of motions, questions on notice or without notice. So it's a motion with or without notice.
Without notice.
Yeah.
So,
Well, the point is that if the motion's been made, the first and seconded,
Yeah, Peter seconded,
It
so.
was a question, it was a question without notice, and, the question's been answered. The answer was, we'll put it to a workshop, we're not asking for a decision.
That's
So we don't need to go to, I don't think, to a motion. We can just, the answer is we'll consider it at a workshop, well, have a look at it at a workshop and perhaps bring it back to a future council meeting.
Well,
Just an answer to the question.
we can do that as long as council is agreeable to do that. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It was better if it was a motion.
Whatever will end this conversation. And I'll do it properly next time, whatever way that
The
is.
question's fine, it just, it wasn't answered, like it was group answered, not answered through the council, through the CEO.
So to make it formal, it could be, you could just make it a motion. You've already got a mover and a seconder.
Yes.
You've moved it,
I
you've got a
know.
seconder,
Yes.
and you can just put it to a vote as a procedural vote, and it means everyone's in agreement for it to go to a workshop.
Let's do
You happy?
it. Wait,
Okay, so we put the motion, all those in favour, raise your hand. It is carried unanimously. And thank you very much, Councillor Kendall, for your indulgence. Now I would like a motion to close the open and open the close. Thank you. So moved by Alderman Slade, seconded by Alderman Ritter. All those in favour, raise your hand. Carried unanimously. Thank you to everyone online for your forbearance. Thank you for those in the audience for your forbearance. And we hope you enjoyed tonight's presentation of the council meeting. Certainly a lot of work to get through, and I hope you appreciate that we're doing our best. Good night.